Here we go. Okay. So, welcome to Project Trinity. Let's start with the overhead. I'm pushing, by the way. Okay, getting photos. Here we go. Okay, so this is the overhead view, and I've done some marking out. So obviously, this is the boundary here. And I'm just gonna share where everything is, what has been done, and then like my future vision of what I want to create here. So as it is, obviously the house is here facing nearly in alignment with north. Just before we begin, boundary, community garden set up here, future perspective of a playground for kids and like an adult fitness area, outdoor fitness area. And then here is already an outhouse. It's not being utilized. It's full of waste and rubbish at the moment. Here we have an open, fairly level ground. And then here is the septic tank. And then come around the back, we have the water tank here, which is fed from the water well here on this electric pump. Pumps it to here and then into the house. The house is pumped through gravity feed. Grey water system, not much of a system, just basically piped out into this area here. So all this area here is quite full of water all year round, even in the dry season. Flies. It's wet season here, so the flies are in numbers. Well, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, you see here I have biogas plant. That will be a larger one. I'm going to build a smaller one in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which I'm going to probably put here because of the way I'm going to design it. I'm going to design it in a way that can be movable. This will be the first of its kind that I'm going to make anyway. So yeah, let's back to it. So this area here, so from here all the way down into this point on here, so that kind of over half this area here is all pretty level and the highest point of this whole landscape. All these houses down to the left and all these houses down to the right. I'm currently building a villa here at the moment, which is under construction in this area, but this is the highest point. This here is the highest point of the hill. Up here to the right is the road, and the road is down the bottom that joins into this road. And there's an entrance here, and the locals between, so there's family here and here and here and here, and they are related. So they use this as like a channel of walking, use it for burning, dumping, local norm here in Sri Lanka and a lot of the world. So yeah, where was it? Yeah, this area here is where I'm planning on having water catchment and filtration. The water here, like so, Kumbalgama, it actually translate to pottery village because the soil is very clay. It's like a sandy clay. And then with this community garden project here, this is like an experiment I started 6-7 months ago, which the intention was about just creating soil, like healthy, nutritious soil. And through that, I've just got an array of different trees and other plants growing, mainly trees like avocado, mango, soursop, papaya, passion fruit, just all sprouted from regenerating and composting. I now have moringa and manioc and a couple other things growing there now, which is super cool. So yeah, this is all the highest point. And my vision is to catch the rainwater. Like the water, the ground here soaks it up pretty quick. But as it stands right now, when it rains heavily, if there's a like during the monsoons, it really puddles around this area. But once it stops, it's gone within no time. But that'd be a great place, like this roof area, whether we go with a guttering system or like a channel system down around the house to catch water in the lower area here. As I said, from say the front of the house here to where the well is, you're talking about a 3 meter drop. I haven't measured, but in around 2 to 3 meters of a drop to the lowest point. So yeah, water catchment filtration along this point. You'll see later on. This is just the overhead view. I'm going to do a full walk around the property, and you get a feel and a sense of what's there. This point here is actually higher than this area, so it's like a step down into this bank. There's a pathway down into here. Down this end is kind of where I want to create the waste to resource areas, as this is where we transform whatever waste is on site into building, into whatever the case may be. And then this end is more about food production and community orientation, all this kind of area here. So they're keeping this area, as I said, for transformation of material. So yeah, well here, compost area would be cool. And with the entrance here, and there's an entrance also here I haven't put on, it's not used. And then this is the main entrance into the land site. And I'm going to park our vehicles here, which mopeds. Any other details that would be cool for this overhead shot? Just yeah, so there's a lot of here's like king coconut, tambilis they call them. The coconut trees are dotted. There's two of them here, and then there's a few other coconut trees. So there's quite a good few number of food trees already. So like we have some, I think 3 or 4 guava. There is soursop. Like these are fully grown and producing fruit. And coconuts are producing fruit. This jackfruit here is producing loads of fruit. And banana then all kind of dotted along here. We had quite a few fall down in the heavy weather in the last week or two, just because the soil it's not there to hold down the volume of mass that's up with the wind. Wind normally comes from this side, from the right to left, looking at the house here. So all the trees are pretty much like sloped with the wind or bent with the wind. There's a jackfruit here, and then there's guava, and down here more food trees. There's 1 or 2 dead trees that I've already dropped here and here, and there's one still standing here. There was a jackfruit there that's dead and it's dropped as well. Indian gooseberry, and they call them Sri Lankan olives. Very similar to an olive, but definitely not an olive. Yeah. So yeah, between what I've got going there, and it's like, as I said, I have loads of. Oh yeah, sorry. These two here are mango. Two beautiful mango trees. This one produces a little bit more than this one. So yeah, there's plenty of food bearing trees already on the property, and it's just about enhancing it and then where to put what I have kind of started growing. What I want to when I was starting here was creating living boundaries, or food boundaries. So along this corner here, I've begun digging it out and want to produce living fences, food bearing fence, basically, or ditch lines. Yeah, that's the overhead. Ooh, wow, we're 2 minutes in. Okay, so this front of the house area. So this is, as I said, this area along here is lower. So it drops at this point here. And one of the guava, a little pathway down here, and then out to the right. Here you see this is kind of where it starts to begin to drop. It's down there. Let's speed this up, go through that a little bit. Pause. So there's a jackfruit. In behind here, there's a jackfruit. And that's where the grey water system, as it is, comes out into here. And just there's a lot of vegetation growing here with the grey water, and it's lying, and it's a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So out the back here is quite a nightmare if you're out doing anything. Let's keep going. But yeah, down left, let's see, yeah, down this area. So and it slopes all the way down towards the well. And then along this right hand side is the boundary. There is the well to the left. Speed this up a little. I'm knowing you. Here we go. Speed it up a little. You can see the waste, and this is the path the local families that I mentioned used and created. Well, obviously, and you can see this is the lowest point, and then it gets higher up around here, and then it gets higher up around here again. So I wonder, actually, let's do this for a second. Can I miss as well? Wow, wow. Relax yourself, relax yourself. Corner, close that. Let's go again. This thing, it's as small as it goes. Yeah, so, yeah. So where I'm standing right now is around this area here. And you can see comes up, gets higher around. I'm walking down where I would like to put the waste to resource facility. Just looking at the well, it's motor on through here. And then this is out onto that road up by the right, all the way into the boom. Okay, cool. Next, here's an overhead or on the roof shot, and this is the where I would like to put the waste resource facility and water treatment, catchment. It's that jackfruit water tank. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, what else we got here? Have a little quick scoot through the house. Why not? So this is our kitchen areas. It's always under pretty simple development, but trying to use all this table here. It's all made from recycled material. I made them myself. The beds, the chairs, it's all recycled wood. It actually can storage or transportation wood for massive glass panels. And it's all recycled wood. This is like our communal area where we eat. And this is a little office co-working space. It is a little bit different from this video. This has been 2 months ago. Here, back out, back down. That's that road, and back around. Okay, so this is where the grey water system is along here. 1 and 2 pipes out. As I said, it's just straight out into the ground. What I would like to do in this next week or 4 weeks is to just start by putting a sediment catch. So like a 220-liter drum or even like a 160-liter drum. The water can drop in the sediment, can drop into it, and then it can be emptied and cleaned. This area here, pause it for a second. This is where the septic tank is buried along this area. Yeah, let's motor on through. So as it stands, there is 5 rooms for sleeping and resting. This is the top end. As you can see, as I said, it's pretty level-ish. This is where I was saying about an adult play gym to the left of that. The beautiful jackfruit. This is a unit garden, fire pit. Yeah, it's amazing now. Looking back, this is about 2 months old. This video, and we're now in pretty much in wet season. About monsoons are soon to be hitting, and it's lush green season. Beautiful. There's so much growing, so much growing. So yeah, that is the walk around it. Let's have a little flick through, see if there's any other videos. Just to give a feel of the place. So there are all these properties are lower, and now there's currently a building being built to the left here. Yeah, front again. So well area again. Wonderful, wonderful. I think let's see what this has to offer. Doing exceptional. Close this up. Close this. Whoa. So yeah, thank you for watching. That is the land site of Project Trinity. And,